Hi, this is Sweet Life and I'm Natasha, back at it with a review of House of Flying Daggers. House of Flying Daggers is, I would say, a modern classic martial arts film. It's incredibly beautiful from a visual perspective, but the story's a little, shaky. But overall, I think it's an enjoyable film. Pretty much what you have going on is the movie takes place in China, where you have the Tang Dynasty is trying to keep control of the country, but they have these little rebel groups within the country that are fighting against them. And one of those groups is the House of Flying Daggers. Basically what we have here is these two factions fighting against each other. The government on the one side, then on the other, rebel groups. There's a performer, Zhao Mei, who's working as a dancer, and she comes before this guy who is a bit of a spoiled brat. And Zhao Mei is blind. He's hanging out with a bunch of women and whatnot. She's brought forward to basically entertain him. As despite her being blind, she's an incredible dancer. This gave way to, she does a performance for him, right? He's a brat and he ends up becoming physically aggressive with her after the performance. And it's at this point that you have some government agents who rush into the place, right? They take control of the situation. And with that, one of the government agents, I don't know if you would call him a police officer or whatever, but his name is Leo. And he pretty much attempts to arrest everyone. Or that seems like what's going to happen. But instead, the madam of the house explains to him that Zhao Mei is actually a really good dancer, that she doesn't have anything to do with what, this guy was going on with or anything like that. And so Leo challenges Zhao Mei to prove herself. And this is quite early on in the film, but it sets the stage for what you can expect throughout the rest of the movie to some degree, which is stunning visuals. She does this performance where, watching it, depending on where you are, you might have seen commercials for this performance show called Shenyun, where people in period outfits, if you think of traditional Chinese attire from 100 years ago, they're dressed like that. And so Zhao Mei is kind of dressed along those lines. And she has what I would describe as these scarves, really luxurious looking long scarves. It's not clear if it's silk or satin or whatever it is, but it's this really nice looking fabric. And it's long beyond the length of her arms and her body, where when she moves, they move along with her. And so it makes her movements more exaggerated, but at the same time, it adds a little bit of fluidity and also some drama. So she begins to perform and she does this dance where, now granted, you have to kind of suspend belief, right? Because this is to some degree fantasy. And she gives this performance where she throws one arm and throws the other, and the scarves are able to extend beyond her and hit these drums that are lined up at the edge of the performance area, and it creates a beat, adding on to what these musicians are playing, right? And so you have these women who were playing this kind of stringed instrument. And so she's banging the drums with the scarves and stuff, and incredible. The colors are really vibrant and bright. And it's once she starts dancing, it's beautiful. She's leaping through the air, doing all these flips and stuff. And then you got the scarf and it's all over the place. Just adds flair and drama to the performance. And so Leo initially was going to arrest everyone, but watching the performance, at a certain point, he challenges Zhao Mei, where he throws he's munching on these beans or whatever it is. And at first he throws one or two against the drums, which leads to the musicians kind of changing the rhythm, right? Changing the beat, and sets the scene in motion. But Zhao Mei kind of picks up on it, right? And it's towards the end of the performance, he takes a whole bowl of these bean things or whatever and throws it, causing it to hit the drums really, really fast. And it speeds up the tempo of the music, which then affects the tempo at which the musicians are playing. And then also Zhao Mei's dancing. And so eventually, it's just crazy, right? A bunch of stuff ends up happening and he ends up arresting her, right? Turns out she's this martial arts master, right? As while performing for Leo, with the drums and stuff like that, she throws one of the scarves and there's a weapon. Crazy stuff. So she's taken into custody because the question is then, well, why are you trying to kill him, right? And so with that, she's now suspected of being a member of the House of Flying Daggers. While in prison, a masked, fighter man, I don't know if he would be considered a ninja, but he breaks into the prison to help her escape. And so it turns out this individual is Captain Jin, who also has some prior knowledge of Zhao Mei as far as her position within the organization and what that. And with that, they escape, right? They take off riding, I think, like on horses or whatever it is. It's not really clear to me where exactly they're going. I'm assuming maybe it's like to join up with like their other House of Flying Dagger folk, but they're going on a trek. In the midst of this, while they're out moving through like various landscapes and stuff, which are also beautiful, they keep getting attacked by these government minions. That would be like the best way to describe them. And it gives way to like just one after another visually stunning scenes. Them trying to escape, them having to fight their way out. Crazy stuff. There's one point early on in the film where, with Jin, him and Zhao Mei have like a moment together. And things kind of shift for him, right? From just merely helping her to more of like a romantic feeling between the two. And so as the film progresses, a large part of it is them trying to get to the end of this journey and having to guard and protect themselves against the Emperor's people. And so as part of that, right, throughout the film, there's like multiple scenes of them trying to escape these government agents, which is like different fight scenes. They're like throwing daggers, they're fighting with swords, they have like hand-to-hand combat on occasions. Crazy stuff. Both of them, right? They hit with it. So I enjoyed the film, right? It's like martial arts and stuff, but it also ends up being sort of like a romance film because there's this thing bubbling between Zhao Mei and Jin. But there's also like something possibly bubbling between her and Leo. So things come to a head and incredible. I love this film. The story at some points was a little bit hokey for me, but overall I enjoyed the film. Like, I like the fighting, man. I think it's an incredible movie and the scenery is beautiful. Thanks for tuning in. To ensure you don't miss any episodes, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, and check out my movie review playlist. Go ahead and click that thumbs up button if you like what you saw, and go ahead and share it on social media.